بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Our lesson today is about the anal canal. The anal canal begins as a continuation to the rectum at the ano-rectal junction, which is 1 inch below and to in front of the tip of coccyx. Ano-rectal junction, the end of rectum and the beginning of anal canal, lies 1 inch below and in front to the tip of coccyx. Then, the anal canal runs downward or upward? Downward. Forward or backward? Backward. The anal canal runs downward and backward in the perineum. What's the perineum? Perineum is the region of the outlet of the pelvis. Outlet of the pelvis. Therefore, the anal canal runs downward and backward in the perineum to open on the outside. An opening called the anal opening or anus. The length of the anal canal is 4 cm. Like the inguinal canal, like female urethra, 4 cm. Like duodenal canal, like femoral sheath. All these structures are 4 cm. What's the relation of the anal canal? The relation of anal canal posterior is the same in male and in female. Posterior to the anal canal, there is a fibrous body in which inserted the pelvic floor muscle called anococcygeal body, separating the anal canal from this bone, which is the tip of coccyx. The same in male and in female. Anteriorly in male, this fibrous body in which the perineal muscles insert. All perineal muscles inserted in this body, which is perineal body. The strong fibrous body in the center of the perineum, therefore called perineal body. The perineal body separating the anal canal from bundle of penis. In female, anterior to the anal canal is the perineal body, separating the perineal body from the lower part of the vagina. Here in female, the famous injury, head of fetus, like that, passing stretching the vagina, leading to tear of the vagina, tear of perineal body, and tear of the anterior wall of the anal canal. This injury is called complete perineal tear, which occur in delivery. Okay? Tear in the mucosa of the anal canal is called anal fissure. Tear of the mucosa of the anal canal is called anal fissure. Anal fissure, 90% at least, occur in the midline posterior. 10% occur in the midline anterior. In what case the anal fissure occur anterior? In one statement, in females during complete prenatal, resulting in anal fissure anterior. 90% posterior. Why anal fissure occur in the midline posterior? The rectum is straight with the anal canal?
No.
Look. There is an angle at the anal-rectal junction. Imagine the feces. If you are the feces and standing in the rectum, what is the word receiving the trauma? By hard feces. Especially during constipation. In constipation, there is bulky, hard stool. This angle, posteriorly receiving the trauma by hard feces, leading to tear of the mucosa in the midline posteriorly and anal fissure posteriorly. Also, the mucosa posteriorly is less supported. Less supported, liable for stretch. Because the anal canal is surrounded by anal sphincter. The anal sphincter, this is the anal canal, and from all aspects, the anal sphincter surround the anal canal. But the muscle fibers of the anal sphincter pass to be inserted in the coccyx posteriorly. Therefore, the anal sphincter is completely surrounds the anal canal, except at the insertion of this muscle in the coccyx, leading to the mucosa is less supported and liable for more stretch and tear. In this drawing, we can help the patient in constipation. How do you help the patient in constipation? Doctor,
Fibers.
I have difficulty to defecate. I can't defecate. The feces pass in the rectum, and the difficulty here is to take this curve to the center. Try this description if you have constipation. You are sitting on the toilet and the feces at rest, and never put one finger, the thumb, at the tip of coccyx, and the push anterior. You will push the anal canal where? Anterior, to become in a straight line with the rectum feces descent. This is one mechanical method to treat constipation. The feces find difficulty, bulky, and difficult to take this curve. By the tip of the coccyx, حط كل واحد يحط ايديه put your hand on the coccyx and then push anterior. You push the anal-coccygeal body and the anal canal anterior. Rectum become a straight line with the anal canal. Rush of feces. Okay? Tell all patients with constipation, there are types of constipation. One type of constipation, the patient has no desire and the feces accumulate in sigmoid pool. Nothing can be done here. But there is a mechanical constipation, bulky feces at rest. And you sit in the toilet and you know
No feces.
Feces body. You feel the feces in the toilet here, but can enter the last 4 centimeters. This bush is a solution. Okay? What are the lateral relation of the anal canal? The lateral relation of the anal canal is the rectum. This was in the perineum on both sides of the lower part of rectum and anal canal, which is rectal fossa. Mucosa and the lumen of the anal canal. Anal canal, and we cut coronal section. Becomes the two halves, anterior and posterior half. This is the half of the anal canal, and I go inside. To understand this picture, refer to the origin. What is the origin? I need a paper. This is your origin. Embryonic disc. The disc consists of 2 layers of cells. Layer above called ectoderm. Layer below called endoderm. Then the embryonic disc undergo folding. Where is the ectoderm? Outside. And the ectoderm? Inside. This is cavity inside the embryo called the gut. The gut is foregut, midgut, and hindgut. Our subject is the hindgut. This is the hindgut. Ectoderm outside, endo inside. The distal part of hindgut dilate to form a structure called cloaca. Cloaca. Cloaca is endo or ecto? بالله عليك مين؟ there end. The cloaca. The end of the cloaca form the rectum and the upper half of anal canal. Therefore, this area becomes upper half anal canal and rectum. On the surface, that's to say, as the ectoderm, a depression occurs. This depression in the ectoderm is called proctodeum. The proctodeum forms the lower half of anal canal. Therefore, the lower half of the anal canal is ectoderm. Upper half of anal canal and or the half is endoderm from the cloaca. During development, the lower half of the anal canal is formed. Upper half of the anal canal is formed, but separated by a membrane called proctodeal membrane or cloacal membrane. It is the same. And about the third month, intrauterine fetal life, this membrane rupture. Congratulations, hiatus is open. مبروك انت اتخرجت. والجي اي تي بتاعك the GIT becomes open to outside. Why you need to do graduation? There is a famous congenital anomaly. This membrane does not rupture, and the fetus will descend with imperforate aids. Some sort of acute intestinal obstruction in newly born. When this membrane ruptures, it disappears completely? No. In adult life, the proctodial membrane or cloacal membrane leaves these mucosal folds. These mucosal folds are side to side, forming a line. This line is straight or like dental.
Curve.
It is curved line because it is curved like the arrangement of teeth. It is called dentate line or pectinate line. Therefore, the dentate line and the pectinate line leave these mucosal folds as a memory to the rupture of the proctodial membrane or cloacal membrane. As the dentate line or pectinate line, there are mucosal folds called anal valves. Anal valves present in mucosal fold like that. Above this valve, there is a depression. Present in mucosal fold, and there is depression. This depression called anal sinus. Look inside the sinus. There is an opening called the anal crypt. Opening of what? Opening of this gland in the submucosa, which is called anal gland. Therefore, the dentate line or pectinate line showing crescentic mucosal folds. The crescentic mucosal folds are called anal valves. Above this valve, there is anal sinus, which receives the opening of, which is called anal crypt, which is the opening of anal gland. The dentate line is the memory of proctodial membrane. Therefore, the upper half of the anal canal above the dentate line develops from endodermal margin. For what? And the lower half of the anal canal below the dentate line is ectodermal margin from the proctodial membrane. This difference in origin is reflected on the type of the mucosa. Show the endoderm gives simple columnar or secretory epithelium, while ectoderm gives erythematized epithelium and skin. This is reflected on the line. The upper half of the anal canal, which is endodermal portion, lined by simple columnar epithelium with columns of Morgan. Elevations, vertical elevations in the mucosa, called columns of Morgan. Why this elevation? Because under this elevation in the submucosa runs the branches of superior rectal artery and runs the tributaries of superior rectal vein. These tributaries runs vertically and the branches runs vertically in the submucosa, elevating the mucosa, leading to columns of Morgan. The tributaries of superior rectal vein in the upper half of the anal canal and the lower part of the rectum form a venous plexus. This venous plexus in relation to the anal opening. This is the anal opening. This plexus is deep in relation to them. Therefore, this venous plexus, the tributaries of superior rectal vein, form a venous plexus called internal hemorrhoidal venous plexus. Internal hemorrhoidal venous plexus. There is a famous disease. About 50% of you having this disease. Dilatation, elongation, and tortuosity. This means varicose vein in the internal hemorrhoidal venous plexus will result in disease called internal pylons or internal hemorrhoids. Internal pylons or hemorrhoids may be due to detectable cause, like portal hypertension and the opening of portosteric anastomosis. If there is a detectable cause, it is called secondary bile, which is very rare. Another cause, cancer rectum. Carcinoma of rectum infiltrating superior rectal vein. Therefore, venous intercom and superior rectal vein is included, leading to high pressure and internal hemorrhoidal venous plexus, dilatation, elongation, tortuosity. This is due to cancer rectum, secondary bile. Therefore, there is a famous rule in surgery: never diagnose primary bile except after the examination to exclude cancer rectum as a cause to a secondary bile. Okay? The commonest in all population is primary. Primary means without detectable cause. Well, then, get bite. I have a bite. Why? Mohammed Hussein get bites. What is the detectable cause? All human beings are normally predisposed to dilatation, elongation, and tortuosity of internal hemorrhoidal plexus and internal biles. Why? Look, the internal hemorrhoidal plexus here runs vertically. Okay? To become what? To collect it finally, to pierce the wall of the rectum, pierce the muscle layer. Pierce the muscle layer to collect outside the muscle layer as superior rectal vein, which ascend to become inferior mesenteric vein, which then into this vein, which become portal vein. The vertical arrangement of these veins at the lowest end, this is the lowest end of portal circulation, and the portal circulation is valveless. Without any valve, in وهجرنا the column of blood from the liver to the anal canal without any valve, press on the tributaries of superior rectal vein. And the tributaries of superior rectal vein are well supported in the submucosa, which you all know the submucosa is loose areolar connective tissue. Therefore, the internal hemorrhoidal venous plexus arranged vertically. And unsupported in submucosa. And the lowest part of portal secretion with no valves. Therefore, all human beings are susceptible for bites in any stage of life. May occur in young age, middle age, old age. What is the arterial supply? Many of the upper half of the canal. Branches of superior rectal artery. What is the renal supply? Develop from endoderm. Therefore, it is supplied by autonomic nervous system. Therefore, the upper half of the canal is sensitive for pain or no? No sensitive for pain. Even we do incision or we do injection, this need no anesthesia. Here there is important thing in pilots. One of the lines of treatment of pilots is to inject sclerosing material to allow fibrosis, compression, and the penetration of varicose vein here. Is injection treatment of bile or any incision here needs anesthesia? No. The internal bile is covered by what type of mucosa? Varicose vein and submucosa, and it's covered by mucosa. This mucosa covering the internal bile is simple columnar epithelium, like the upper half of the canal and the lower part of the rectum. Therefore, the development of the upper half of the canal reflects to all features of the upper half of the canal, lined by columnar epithelium with columns of Morgellons. The tributaries of superior rectal vein forming internal hemorrhoidal venous plexus. Varicosity of this plexus leading to internal hemorrhoids are bile. Supplied by branches, arterial supply, branches of superior rectal artery. Nerve supply, autonomic nerve supply. Any sensitive for pain. Any procedure, injection, incision, needs no anesthesia. Compare all these features of the upper half of the canal with the lower half of the canal. The lower half below or above the dentate line? Below the dentate line. The area below the dentate line in the lower half of the canal is lined by this columnar epithelium. Is logic to suddenly become stratified squamous epithelium? This is a stratified squamous epithelium area, but it is a transitional zone. Intermediate in segment. Not like stratified squamous epithelium, many layers. It is stratified squamous epithelium, intermediate in segment. Is there any sweat gland or sebaceous gland? No. Therefore, the lower half of the canal is divided by this white line. This red line is actually white in our life, called Helton's white line. From the dentate line to the Helton's white line, the air canal is lined. Since it comes from ectoderm, it's lined by stratified squamous epithelium, like the skin, but not full thickness, intermediate in thickness, with no sweat gland or sebaceous gland. Below the Helton's white line is the skin. Actual skin is stratified with squamous epithelium,
keratinized,
with the sweat gland and sebaceous gland. Okay? Put on your mind, why is this white line? I will explain this in another problem. This area the mucosa below the dentate line in the lower half of the anal canal. Supplied by arteries, the branches of inferior rectal artery. Inferior rectal artery, which is still rectal, but actually it does not supply the rectum. It supplies mainly the lower half of the anal canal. What is the venous drainage? Tributaries of inferior rectal vein. The tributaries of inferior rectal vein form here a plexus in relation to the external opening of the anus. It is outer or deep in position. It is very superficial. Outer in position, very near, very close to the anus. Therefore, this plexus is called external hemorrhoidal venous plexus. External hemorrhoidal venous plexus may, but rarely, show dilatation, elongation, and tortuosity of the tributaries of inferior rectal vein, leading to a disease called external biles or external hemorrhoids. This is called the upper half, called internal hemorrhoidal venous plexus. If show dilatation, elongation, tortuosity, this is called internal biles or internal hemorrhoids. But if the same occur in the tributaries of inferior rectal vein, this is the external hemorrhoidal venous plexus, leading to a disease called external hemorrhoids or external biles. If external biles occur, it is covered biles. The mucosa of the lower half of the anal canal, which is stratified squamous specific. Stop. What is the lymphatic drainage? Lymphatic drainage, like of the lower half of the anal canal, like the area beside it. What is the area beside it? The anal opening. Gluteal region. The lymphatic drainage of the gluteal region go where? Superficial inguinal lymph nodes. Therefore, in any anal disease, in the lower half of the anal canal, examine the superficial inguinal lymph nodes. Nerve supply, as the inferior rectal artery and the inferior rectal vein, there is the inferior rectal nerve. Inferior rectal nerve supplying the lower half of the anal canal. Somatic nerve. Therefore, any disease in the lower half of the anal canal leading to pain or not? Severe pain. This is one of the most sensitive areas in the body. Severe somatic pain in any disease here. Like what? Heart diseases, tearing the mucosa of the lower half of the anal canal. This is called anal fissure. Therefore, any tear in the mucosa of the lower half of the anal canal by bulky hard stool is called anal fissure, which is very painful. Or operation. In operation, we remove the mucosa of the lower half of the anal canal, as the operation which is called hemorrhoidectomy. Remove hemorrhoid. In the operation of hemorrhoid, we dissect the mucosa and remove the bile and the mucosa of the lower half of the anal canal. Therefore, after homohysterectomy, the patient has severe pain. Therefore, any operation or disease in the lower half of the canal is very painful because it is supplied by inferior rectal nerve, which is somatic nerve, leading to somatic pain and very severe somatic pain. The lymphatic range of the lower half of the anal canal is superficial inguinal. What's the lymphatic range of the lower half of the anal canal? Like all the structures in the limbs. Above to superior rectal lymph node, inferior mesenteric lymph node, etc. Okay? Anal sphincters. In simple way, try to stand this coronal section. This is a coronal section in the anal canal. Divide the pelvis of the Watan into anterior half, remove, and posterior half, look. What's this bone? We cut head bones to the right side and the left side. And this area is the ischial tuberosity. You sit on the ischial tuberosity. This is the ischial tuberosity. This is the rectum. The layers of the rectum, when they send down, become what? Start layer by layer. What is this layer from inside the rectum? This is the mucosa of the rectum, which descend downward, become mucosa of, become continuous with the mucosa of the anal canal. No problem. Below the mucosa there is this white space. This white space is submucosa. Submucosa of the rectum becomes continuous with the submucosa of the upper part of the anal canal. Okay? Continuous with the submucosa of the upper part of the anal canal. Not all the anal canal. Muscle layer. What is this muscle layer? Circular muscle layer. And the outer longitudinal layer. Now we are in solid. This is the circular muscle layer. The circular muscle layer of rectum. Look. It is thin muscle layer, is right? Thin muscle layer until the anorectal junction. At the anorectal junction, the circular muscle layer of the gut becomes markedly thick. What is the definition of thick circular muscle layer? Bravo. There is a normal true anatomical sphincter. This sphincter is internal in position, therefore called internal anal sphincter. It is measured from this sphincter, which is outer in position, therefore this sphincter is the inner and called internal anal sphincter. Therefore, what's the definition of internal anal sphincter? Internal anal sphincter is thickening of the circular muscle layer of the gut in the upper part of the anal canal. Nerve supply. Autonomic or somatic? Like the circular muscle layer of the gut? nerve supply. Therefore, the circular muscle layer of the gut and the internal sphincter is under your control and voluntary or not? Autonomic. Involuntary supply. Therefore, internal inner sphincter is thickening of the circular muscle layer of the gut in the upper two-thirds of the inner canal, and it's supplied by the autonomic nervous system, and it is involuntary. Has no role in continence of feces. After the internal inner sphincter and the circular muscle layer of the gut, this is muscle, but the longitudinal muscle layer of the gut. The longitudinal muscle layer of the gut descends down until the inner junction. In this level, the longitudinal muscle layer changes, becomes white in shape. It changes into tendon. Tendon, and the tendon divided in medial part attached to the mucosa, and the lateral part continuous until the bone to attach in the bone. This is a tendon passing lateral to the bone, and the remaining parts attached to a skin around the anus. This is fascia. Actually, it is a tendon, but the longitudinal muscle layer change to a tendon or fascia. This fascia divided at its lower end to a slip attached medially to the mucosa, attached laterally to the ischial bone, and the remaining slips attached to the skin. The tendon or the fascia, what is the color? White. This slip medially attached to the mucosa, giving the mucosa the white line, which is called Pelton's white line. This is the cause of the white line in the lumen of the membrane, the inner canal, and the mucosa. What's the importance of this slip, which extends actually laterally and reach the bone? It separates the ischial fossa into two spaces. The space below and the space above. And you know the importance of this space later on. What are these steps? I ask you a question. The skin around your anus, is it smooth or corrugated? The skin around the anus is smooth like that or corrugated like that? Corrugated. Corrugated. Why is the skin around the anus is corrugated? Direction by these slits, corrugating the skin around the anus. In solid anatomy and anatomy proper, this is part is called corrugator cutis muscle. Muscle responsible for traction of the skin and the corrugation of skin around the anus. Or the corrugator cutis, this is not important name for you. Therefore, the longitudinal muscle layer of the gut changes at the inner junction into a fascia or a tendon, which divides below the inner sphincter into a slip attached to the mucosa medially, slip attached to the bone laterally, and the many slips attached to the skin, leading to the corrugation of the skin around the anus. After the longitudinal muscle layer and the fascia go outside, what is this brownish structure? This brownish structure is the pelvic floor muscle. of the pelvic floor muscle. The pelvic floor muscle is formed mainly of levator inguinal. Levator inguinal. Of course, we said before in the rectum, there is a part of levator inguinal coming from the dual bone and forming the U-shaped muscle around the anorectal junction called buborectalis. Therefore, this is part of levator inguinal and buborectalis muscle. What is this? Below buborectalis and levator inguinal. 3 circles, complete circles of striated voluntary muscles supplied by somatic nerve, this nerve, which is called inferior rectal nerve. These circles, which surround the anal canal completely or nearly completely, these circles are called the external anal sphincter. Sure, it is external because it is external to internal nascent. It is formed of 3 parts. Name this part. The skin. And this part is just below the skin. Therefore, this part is called subcutaneous part of external anal sphincter. Deep, very deep. This part, deep part of external anal sphincter. And this is superficial to this. Superficial part of external anal sphincter. Therefore, the anal sphincter are 3 muscular rings. Deep is deep, subcutaneous is subcutaneous, superficial is superficial. Deep, superficial, and subcutaneous part of external anal sphincter. These are striated muscles supplied by somatic nerve. Voluntary or involuntary? Any striated muscle is voluntary. Therefore, it is voluntary muscle responsible for continence of feces. During operation in the anal canal, I may decide to divide the subcutaneous part. Divide or not? Divide. I decide to divide the superficial part, external sphincter. Divide or not? Divide. In any operation, never decide to approximate from the deep part of external anal sphincter. If the part of external anal sphincter is open, with injury of the anorectal end, leading to incontinence of feces. Therefore, they are responsible for voluntary control and continence of feces is the deep part of the external sphincter and the coordination of all these rings. What is this ring? The anorectal ring. The anorectal ring in VR examination is still very well defined posterior. The VR, very well defined chart. Where the buborectalis loops around the rectum, and the buborectalis around the rectum pulls the rectum forward, leading to this angle. The angle between the rectum and the anal canal. This angle is due to pushing of the anorectal ring forward towards the pubic bone by the buborectalis muscle. Okay? The anorectal ring or anorectal junction, there are 4 structures attached together and responsible for the contents. First of all, and the most important is deep part of external center. Second, Buborectalis, part of the vapor enamel. And the least important, internal center. And longitudinal muscle layer of the left. هنا الأربعة متحدين. In importance, the first of importance is deep part, Buborectalis. This is responsible for about 90% of your contents. And attachment of all this to the internal center and longitudinal muscle layer of the intestine. Any injury of this ring leading to injury of Buborectalis and the part of external center leading to incontinence of feces. Okay? Finally, there is a disease called anorectal suppuration. Correct. Abscess in this region around the rectum and the anal canal. Okay, there are here 4 potential spaces. And if infection is introduced, it will produce rapid suppuration and vascularization. What are these spaces? The first space is this. Above the vapor enamel, inside the ribs. Inside the ribs, not inside the perineum. Inside the ribs, above the vapor enamel, above the muscle, all this fat. Any infection reach here, infection. Bowel formation. What this space is named? This space surrounds the lower part of the rectum. Inside the pelvis. Therefore, this space is called pelvirectal space. This is very rare, is abscess, and I never see it. Second space. Submucosa of the anal canal is very loose. Any fissure, injury of the mucosa, feces pass, bacteria enter, leading to submucous abscess. The submucosa here is a loose material, and there is a potential space called submucous space. This is very rare. The commonest abscess, about 60% of abscess occur in the space surrounding the lower third of the anal canal. Space surrounding the lower third of the anal canal. Space surrounding anus. What is called? Anal space. The very anal space is bounded by this from outside. Is skin around the anus. This is usually the source of infection. In the skin there is hair follicle, sweat gland, and sebaceous gland. If there is no personal cleaning proper, dirtiness here will reduce infected hair follicle, sweat gland, sebaceous gland, and the infection rapidly enters the very anal space, leading to perianal abscess, which is the commonest anorectal suppuration. Deeply, this space is bounded by what's this? Fascia, prolonged laterally from the longitudinal muscle layer of the intestine. Laterally, open the mouth with what? Subcutaneous tissue. of the buttocks. Around the anus there is a buttock. Therefore, this space is continuous with the subcutaneous tissue of the buttocks. Medially, there is what? Subcutaneous part of external anal sphincter and the lower third of the anal canal. Lower third of anal canal. And the superficial part, the subcutaneous part of external sphincter, medially. Laterally, open with the subcutaneous tissue of the gluteal region. Above is fascia prolonged laterally from the internal muscle layer of the gut. Superficially is skin around the anus. This is called perianal because it's around the lower third of the anal canal and the anus. This is space, deep space. Above the fascia prolonged laterally is called ischiorectal space. Ischiorectal space. What are the boundaries? Medially. Upper two-thirds of the anal canal, surrounded by deep and superficial part of external anal sphincter. Lateral. The bone here is covered by this muscle, which is called obturator internus, and the fascia covering is called obturator fascia. Therefore, laterally is obturator muscle and obturator fascia. Above what? Levator inanus. Superficial what? Fascia prolonged lateral from the internal muscle layer of the gut, separating above the ischiorectal space from below which is the perianal space. The importance of these spaces are infection may occur around this region, reducing perianal abscess. About 60% of abscess here, the commonest. 30% of abscess is ischiorectal abscess. 5% submucous or perirectal abscess. If the abscess is neglected, abscess here and neglected, rupture inside to the anal canal and outside to the skin, leading to a tract connecting between two epithelial surfaces. Epithelial surface here, skin. Epithelial surface here is mucosa of the anal canal. This condition is called anal fistula. Okay? If the fistula, this is the common fistula, low fistula. If you do fistulotomy, excision of this fistula, during excision of this fistula, I decide to divide subcutaneous or superficial part of external anal sphincter. Remove the fistula and divide it. But if the abscess is here, rupture into the rectum and the rupture outside to the skin, leading to high fistula. The previous is called low fistula. Easily removed. But if the fistula is high, open in the rectum, above the levator ani, above the deep part of external anal sphincter, you can do fistulectomy, surgery, divide the deep part of external anal sphincter and divide the uterus, never. From about 20 years, this high fistula, which is called extrasphincteric fistula, extrasphincteric, not related to the center, is considered inoperable, incurable, to avoid incontinence. But now there is a technique treating this fistula without injury of concave part of external sphincter or ureters to preserve contents. Okay? This is the anal canal and the most important clinical points related to it. Thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. There is very important clinical examination called BR examination. BR means bare rectal examination. By the index finger, by lubricated index finger, I enter the anus, anal opening, and the lower part of the rectum by my finger. Why? To palpate pelvic structure which is possibly felt. In BR examination, if you introduce your finger in the anal canal and lower part of rectum, you feel what? Normally in male and in female, you palpate posteriorly. You will palpate the concavity of sacrum, pelvic surface of the rectum of sacrum, and pelvic surface of coccyx. Anterior in male, you palpate what? I palpate the recto-vesical pouch, which may contain hard masses. Hard masses on BR examination in the recto-vesical pouch or double pouch. This means peritoneal malignant nodule, which occur in advanced malignancies in the abdomen. In any malignancy in the abdomen with peritoneal dissemination and malignant cells fall with gravity to the dependent area, proliferate malignant cells here to form malignant nodules in the recto-vesical pouch or recto-vaginal pouch. Also, you can feel some sort of fluid as pus in peritonitis, blood in throat, rupture liver, rupture spleen, rupture kidney, rupture intestine, or pus, fluid, blood, anything can be felt. Also, we palpate anteriorly the seminal vesicles. There are two seminal vesicles, and you feel notch between the two seminal vesicles. If I palpate anteriorly, I palpate the median sulcus. There is a median sulcus in the prostate, and I palpate the posterior surface of urinary bladder. I palpate this fibrous body in the perineum, which is called perineal body. And in front of the perineal body, I feel the bulb of penis. Laterally, you feel what? You can feel with difficulty the two ureters. Normally, the two ureters are not felt, but you may put your finger and palpate laterally. You palpate stone, ureteric stone in the bush. Also, laterally, we can palpate the bone, ischial spine and ischial tuberosity. Before all these structures felt inside the rectum and anal canal, you introduce your finger with difficulty because there is, you palpate the anal sphincters, you palpate the anal and rectal wall. Normal anal and rectal wall is soft in consistency. Soft like that. Like the hip. Firm like that cartilage. Hard like bone. You may palpate the wall of the anal canal or rectum. You touch a hard area. This hard area is malignancy. These structures felt by BR examination in male. What is the difference in female? You palpate by BR examination pelvic part of sacrum and coccyx. You palpate laterally ischial spine, ischial tuberosity. You palpate anteriorly perineal body and vagina, posterior of the vagina, and cervix, which is the lower part of the uterus. And you palpate also the rectum, vagina gouge or Douglas gouge for hard jewel or any fluid. You palpate the wall of the anal canal and the rectum. You palpate anal septum. Lateral to the anal canal. Lateral to the anal canal, we can palpate this fossa. This is a coronal section. You divide Dr. Badan into anterior part and posterior part, and you look. This is the rectum and anal canal, and when you put your index finger here, you can feel this fossa, which is called ischio-rectal fossa, because it is between the ischial bone and the rectum. Therefore, it's called ischio-rectal fossa. When you put your finger here, you can feel any swelling in the ischio-rectal fossa. The commonest swelling is red, hot, tender, painful, edematous swelling. What is the swelling felt by these features? Abscess around the rectum and anal canal, which is called anorectal abscess.